First, start with thanking everybody who sent messages or phone calls reference their concern towards the officer. I did stop at University Hospital, made contact with the officer. His family was with him. He was in good spirit, and he seems like everything's going to be okay for him. We're very grateful and fortunate that the injuries aren't worse than they were. At about 2 o'clock this afternoon, officers from the Albuquerque Police Department investigative units barricaded a subject, reference a felony warrant. That resulted in the activation of the SWAT team, and during that activation, the SWAT team was involved in an officer-involved shooting with the individual that was being sought after. The individual being sought after is deceased, and we did have one officer who sustained a gunshot wound. That's the information we have for right now. We will give a briefing at a later time with more information, but criminalistics and investigative units are now currently on scene trying to piece together exactly what happened, and we'll be able to get more information later. But I think the most important thing right now is the officer is in good spirits, is at the hospital with family, and is being tended to for his medical needs. Mayor?
Thank you, Chief, and most importantly, I think men and women of the Albuquerque Police Department, as well as our state police, who are involved in this. And, you know, some of us know we were all doing different things, the Chief in his civilian clothes, and we were at an opening down at Los Altos. But look, we, of course, instantly concerned about what happened here, and especially for the life of our officer. But anytime there's a lost life, anytime there's a tragedy, it affects our city. But I think we're very grateful in this situation that our officer is recovering from these non-life-threatening injuries. This was obviously a SWAT situation. These can always turn very dangerous, and I think it's important to remember that our officers put their lives on the line each and every day. And this is coming on the heels of what we saw in Alamogordo with that officer. And so for us, we just want to make sure that our folks in law enforcement know that we're with them, we have their backs, they're in our prayers this evening. We also know that when these things happen, you know, often many lives are also saved. And so you see this in a lot of these situations, and as the details play out, we'll see in this one. But I want everyone to remember that they're doing what they have to do to keep the rest of us safe. And sometimes it means putting their own life at risk, and that is exactly what happened today. And we're grateful that the officers took the action they did, and that there were no additional losses of life. And I think, as I mentioned, we'll have more on this later, but for us, we're grateful for their actions today.
Just want to point out what the mayor was talking about also is New Mexico State Police was on scene. They were assisting us with tactical support, and as it appears right now, we're trying to determine how many officers fired their weapons from both agencies. So this investigation will be going on through the rest of the night, and we hope to have more details and a further update a little bit later. Questions?
Yeah, I have one question. You know, we know there's a warrant backlog looking to address this. How much more at risk are first responders as you start going after these suspects with warrants?
The more proactive any department is, the more likely that you may have interactions which result in either injuries to officers or officer-involved shootings. We are pushing our officers to become as proactive as possible. As you're going after some of the worst, and these individuals know that they have pending warrants and that they're going to go to jail, sometimes these individuals make unrash decisions. So there's always a risk, but it is increased as you become more and more proactive.
Was the officer shot in the vest, or did you say where he shot?
No, the officer is shot in the arm, it appears.
Once?
One time that we know of at this point, but obviously medical personnel will give us an update later. Unknown where that individual was shot.
Is that a man or woman?
It was a male.
Chief, could you say whether the officer shot was a patrol officer or a tactical officer?
It was a tactical officer from the tactical section. Any other questions? Oh, go ahead.
Do you know if the suspect here, did he live in these apartments? Was this his apartment?
He had barricaded into the apartment. It's unknown exactly if he resides there or visiting or just somehow ended up there.
Do you know what the warrant was for?
No, it was a felony warrant.
Can I just add one thing, Chief? So on that point on the SWAT activations of warrants, these are warrants for dangerous individuals. So it's not just any felony warrant. So Obviously, that proved out today, but that's the reason SWAT was involved.